Hello to amazing people, and welcome to something fresh, something new. I'm gonna be looking at the demo for Citizen Sleeper 2, the Star Wars Vector Hexport demo. So Citizen Sleeper 2, a tabletop-inspired RPG in a human and heartfelt sci-fi world. You're an escaped android with a malfunctioning body, a price in your head, and no memory of your past. Get a ship, find a crew, and take on contracts while you navigate across the Star Wars belt. This is an RPG with dice rolling mechanics, tabletop mechanics, and it is very story-rich. I actually played all the way through the Citizen Sleeper 1. I'm gonna be putting a link in the description of this video. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so if you like games which have a heavy, rich story and some pretty tactical choices, you might enjoy watching it. So yeah, give it a go. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy as we check out what the second game by the same publisher and developer, I think. I mean, developer for sure. So developer Jump Over the Edge and publisher Fellow Traveler set to release in 2025, so next year. Anyhow, let's go. Update. Okay, fine. I did wish to list the game. Right, so what are we gonna play? Oh, difficulty can be changed at any time from the pause menu. Really? For those focused on the story, broken dice are worth 1, higher stress tolerance that is disabled. The default difficulty for those happy to be challenged. Broken dice cannot be used, standard stress tolerance that incurs a significant permanent penalty. For those who want a tough and tactical challenges with no second chances, dice repairs require more components, very low stress tolerance, double energy depletion that is permanent. Yeah, the first game didn't have difficulty level, so this is a nice change. We're gonna go with medium here, sounds pretty good, especially if you're doing a YouTube series, which I'm probably gonna do on this game once it gets out. Right, let's confirm the difficulty. Alright, so we got choose class. Okay, skills. Okay, we got push. That's not the class. Machinist, operator, and the extractor. Okay, so Machinist is sleepers are built to repair and modify automated system using corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach on social engagement. Their focus skills allow them to focus on a single task and boost their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to machinists are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. So it seems like they start with an extra point in engineering, one less point in endurance, and no engage. Does it mean that he cannot take engage at all? Interesting. This is a big difference from the first game where you could eventually max out all the branches. Maybe we just don't start with any of it, but you can still take it. Focus config, +1 stress, +2, and focus lowest dice. Accrue stress to focus on action dice. This is a new mechanic. This one, reroll lowest dice. Okay, so they have different abilities. So this one has focus, this one has a reboot, this one cannot grab endure. Start with interface training. Operator. Sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice, a risky but potentially powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. So I played an operator in the first game, but they didn't have this ability. So the only interesting thing about them was that they had an extra score in interface here. So, and then we got the extractor. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the cool phase of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Extractors have a high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. +2 to lowest crew dice. Crew. Are we gonna have like helpers? It seems like. Okay, I think I'm gonna be playing a machinist here. I'm gonna be an engineer. I'm not gonna be able to engage, but I'm gonna be able to do everything else. And I kind of like to focus and focus lowest dice. It's okay, I guess. And welcome to the world of Citizen Sleeper. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. A vast and dark interior, right? Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially like the boot process of an old terminal. First your body, artificial compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then its context, the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in 0G. Then emotion coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing it with it, that first instinct that one has framed your past 100 cycles, fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you're unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives, the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong, something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head pulsing in pain, your body rigged with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name, a mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their death is worked away, their double being made to work, to be consumed, eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That is what you are. So basically, like people who become sleepers give their bodies to a corporation and then they sleep, I guess, and they build them a cybernetic body which you then control. Which is what we are controlling in this game. In the first game, we were like a renegade sleeper. We tried to run away from the corporation that, had us. And I don't think this death is very easy to repay. But you escaped, yes? In this one, we also escaped. You remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, Essence Corp, in search of a future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since you did. So I assume this is like a new person, otherwise it would make sense to pick a class again, right? All of a sudden you remember you have eyes and your eyes flicker open. Great. Lane, relentless, cruel, and on your trail. Oh no. So this is a person that's like trying to catch us and bring us back to the corporation. Pale eyes in a pale face, Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recall from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt, a sharp smirk, but this ends here. So from this description here, relentless, cruel, and on your trail, I kind of assumed this is a person they've sent to retrieve us. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You tried to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond, but I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters, this object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid rolling in the vial fills you with disgust. So basically, yeah. So these machines are made so they cannot like easily survive on their own. If they don't get like a steady supply of these stabilizers, then their body starts to deteriorate. And this is like something that prevents these sleepers from running away willy-nilly. Lane pockets the vial, but it would be wasted on you now, after what you have done to this body of yours. He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you, those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice, you know. But when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact of pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of static muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now, you aren't free, you're just broken. Oh, it seems like he did help us escape, but then I guess he just made us work for him instead. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it, but your emulation? You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Please, somebody save us. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into your looping and wrapping around your limbs. Your mysterious savior. Cool, thank you. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out of an impossibly bright screen-filled street beyond. In the corner you see the dark shape of a floating body, surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson bubbles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrestled and shot towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you're out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in the dark alley. The one who guided you here pausing catches his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his light white clothes. You remember the station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown across his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes, panic perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot, he's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process and he lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. Alright. As you are led through the passages and services on the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of a supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There, your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Halt! Your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay, with a few doors leading to the cylindrical tunnels, the docks. They're watching the rig. He nods forward the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it, one covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane, guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphin, alright? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. Oh, you're also a sleeper. Cool. We need that to reboot you to break your dependence on the stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete and... He sighs and shakes his head. So this is how we forgot all of our skills, all of our training. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I've got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, shitheads. He bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the vault, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they were guarding. You look already panicked at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Tutorial. During scenes you may encounter skill checks. This is new also. Where you can perform certain actions using your skills. Like the dice actions you will encounter later, skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed on a check. The odds of a success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section of the pause menu. Right. So we can try to hack the door or to break the seal. Here we can see the chances, 25% positive, 50% neutral, and 25% negative, because we are not really good at interfacing. However, we are a good engineer, so we get a really nice chance if we try to just break the seal. 50% positive, 50% neutral. And we got a positive outcome, which reduced our stress actually, that's cool. You shift to the central access panel and wrench it open. It only takes a moment to understand the mechanism, and you reach in and snap the locking access, the door popping open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphim flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphim. Seraphim is already at the rig's door inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissor open and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout haze in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on, come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life and Seraphim slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Alright, we escaped the station. I guess we're not gonna see the station in this demo. The rig. As the ship glides into space on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the poor docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphim burned hard out of dark sight, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and the lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphim breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and putting out a sigh. We certainly did. He turns and you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Had you said this exact thing to him before, in the same situation? Are you okay? He looks at you, chewing one of his lip, searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphim reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a particular fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize it's just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphim kicks off from his seat, fisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan, he glances around. Lane's not going to let us sleep away quietly, he sighs. We need to talk. Seraphim furrows his brow. Not now, sleeper, we need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than... He pauses again, unsure. Us, he sighs. We need to survive this thing first and maybe we talk. Alright. Seraphim nods, but the tension remains. We have bought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there's plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted, see if I can turn up any old connections, people that might throw us an easy contract. You? He glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. Low profile, got it. Seraphim stops at the airlock. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what I did to you. He jams an arm into a sleeve. I don't want you passing out and... I'll be fine. Seraphim drops his head, swearing to himself. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphim nods, he stabs at the button to open the lock, the inner door hisses open and Seraphim glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He takes another look at your disguise and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphim's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch! Seraphim throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo-chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more fuel and supplies, he grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphim kicks off and glides down to the docking bridge. Don't go too far, alright? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he is gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into the docking concourse of Hexport. You wait for a moment of silence. Think about Seraphim. It's hard to know what's going on inside Seraphim's head. Here he is on some hapless escape plan with a friend who can't remember a thing about him. You try to imagine how close you both must have been for him to agree to this thing, but it's painful to think about. That's all gone now. Anyway, all you can do is move on. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into the port. Alright. Tutorial. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starboard Vector. The game runs in cycles, during which you can perform actions with your dice, use cryo to buy food, fuel supplies and items, progress clock stores new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guide section of the pause menu. Use the mouse wheel to scroll your view, select locations with left click, right click to leave location. Right. Alright, so we can scroll up and down here so to see the whole station. Only this part is available to us for now. We're a machinist. Here we can see our situation. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure a sleeper. On the left you can upgrade your skills to improve the skill modifier applied to your dice when you undertake an action. To the right you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active at once. You can configure which upgrade is active only while at the hub. Right. So with skill points we can upgrade our abilities here. The further you are in a certain branch, the better you will be at a certain job type. There are 5 job types in the game: Engineer, Interface, Endure, Intuit, and Engage. So like everything that's same as in the first game, I'm gonna like comment on. So like confidently, yeah. But this is a blind playthrough of the demo, so I don't really know. So this right side, I have no idea what it is. So -1 stress on focus die post outcome. +1 to affected dice. Okay. Okay, so we can improve the strength of our focus ability here on the right side, or reduce the consequences. Okay. Of the action's positive outcome. Push cause glitch, not stress. Okay, I don't know what glitch is. Stress effect on neo on positive, minus stress effect on neutral on positive outcome. Okay. For now we don't have any skills, so what's this? Oh, we'll be able to travel around. That's pretty nice. So belt is like this asteroid belt in which we are like flying around and doing stuff. Oh, here we have fuel and supplies. I'm really looking forward to this. The first game was like on one station and one station alone, so you had an ability to move and progress throughout the station, unlocking new areas and hubs. But here it seems like you're gonna have some freedom flying around. It's gonna be like a little bit more open world. That looks pretty good actually. And then what's this? This is our ship, the rig. Alright. The rig is your ship and home in the starboard belt. While the rig is docked at the hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks, use dice to reduce stress. Galley, use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is in the dock at hub, your crew will also help to gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the ship. The crew is also a new thing. I guess we're gonna have multiple people available. You can choose which resources they should focus on in the crew action menu to the left. They have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of every cycle. Okay, so we have Seraphine. What was that? So there was some clock going. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to read that. But yeah, Seraphine here, these are his abilities, I guess. Plus, okay, he's engage, endure, okay. So he can either work odd jobs, scavenge for fuel, or source supplies. For now, I'm gonna leave him to do what he decided to do with his own. Just go and get some more money. Here we can see we have 43 cryo, which is cryptocurrency stored in airwell sticks of memory known as chits. Use that to buy stuff. Hydrogen fuel for short-range engine use, volatile. So yeah, fuel to travel around. We're probably not gonna be able to travel in the demo though. I don't know, we'll see. Supplies, food, water, and basic materials packed and sealed for 0G use. So in the galley, make a meal. Supplies are typically saved for contracts, but when food isn't readily available, you've got to use what you've got to survive. So we can use supplies to make us some food to increase this white meter here, I think. And then we can go and sleep, rest and recover. Sometimes it is necessary to rest, or at least try to, in the compact bunks of the rig. This will help you reduce stress when not on a contract. Okay, so we put a dice in here, and we can rest. 50% neutral, 50% negative. So dice go from 1 to 6. The bigger the number, usually the better. And here on the top, we can see some circles. I'm gonna go and guess this is the stress accumulation, which we can reduce if we go and sleep in the bunk. Okay, I will go and check out the place a little bit. Oh yeah, what is this? On the run, you've put some distance between you and Lane, but you're sure that he'll close the gap as soon as he's able to. So this is the time we have until he catches up to us. I guess we have to move stations before this happens. So we're gonna need to like gather some fuel and supplies before we do it, probably. So we got the Hexport docks here, busy way station dock, and a Hexport exchange, base station goods exchange. We can enter these locations and see if they have some like opportunities for us. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will succeed at an action. But the dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right, and will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcomes it has. The more dangerous an action is, the more significant both its rewards and consequences are. For more information on dice actions, check the guide section of the post menu. No, that's fine. Right. So yeah, so here we can see this one is a dangerous action, this one's risky. And here we can see like our affinity with the task. So for example here, this is an engage action. Chat the crews. There are plenty of crews milling around the docks and moving cargo. They could be as good source of info. Now the class we are playing and the engineer, he's like not a very engaging person. He's more like a loner wolf, you know. And because of that, our dice will get reduced by 2 pips here if we put it inside. This is not a good thing to try to do, you know, because we're not really good at it. So here we need to like build up some connections, Hexport connections. The Hexport docks through with life. There are contacts to be made here, you're sure of it. So you can do it by either talking to people or just exploring. Since we are not really a good talker, we're gonna be avoiding this action here. So explore the docks, Intuit action. Hexport docks are dizzying mess of braided cables and flickering signage filled with busy spacers. Exploring is both thrilling and intimidating. So you can see here if I put a 3 in, for example, it's gonna stay the same. So our Intuit skill is neutral. we're basically not getting any bonuses or penalties to it. Okay, well, we have another location where we might be able to do a better job, so let's check it out. Base Station Goods Exchange. Oh, there we go. Engineer. Trade scrap. Engineer. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up components. It's an engineer's job more than a trader's. So here, if we put a dice in, we get a bonus of 1 because we are good at engineering. Or we can try to impress the brokers by interfacing. So interface is yet another skill, which we have neutral in, it seems like. Yeah. The data brokers are the heart of the exchange. They show off their knowledge by discussing decryption. Maybe if you can talk the talk. Rules of the exchange. The exchange buzzes with conversation of commerce. This is a place where contracts are found. You just need to look. Okay, we're gonna put our best dice here. And we're always gonna get a positive or a neutral result. Because we are very proficient at this. We got... You just progressed a clock. Clocks track your progress towards both positive and negative events and can be filled by performing actions or by passing of cycles. So this is a clock that we progress here. We did lose some money to do this, but I guess it's gonna be important to like progress. If I put a 3 in, there is a chance of a negative result, which I'm not super happy about. I don't know how do we use our push skill. The game didn't really teach me that. So since both of these actions have same % chance to be negative, so even though I'm skilled in engineering, I don't want a negative result of a dangerous consequence. So I think I'm just gonna go here and do a risky one instead. Oh, we got a neutral outcome and got plus rules of the exchange. Now we only have 3 ones left, which is really unlucky. Like, we got a really bad roll. What happens if you put a 1 here? It stays a 1. I mean, I guess I could gamble. It's probably gonna stress us out though. Is this everything we can do? Oh no. We did earn something new. So there's a new location now. Hexport Trade Hall, Spacer Trading Market. Okay, probably because we progress here. In the first game, usually you need to progress it fully to gain access to anything. Okay, I didn't notice that. I wish I did sooner. Oh, there we go. So here we can trade. So we can buy fuel. The depot is the biggest supplier on the Hexport, acting as a trading partner for the many small processing plants of Factory Row. So we can pay 5 cryo to buy 1 fuel. Or we can just pay up to 50 cryo. We can fill to a capacity. So this is just like so you don't have to spam it, yeah? And then we got buy supplies. The trade hall has a healthy stock of supplies, stag grown veg, water. Usually some extras all packed up for the crews coming through. So we can buy as supplies for 15 cryo. How much will we get? Like only 1? That seems very expensive. And then we got fill supplies. Yeah, we can fill it up. Yeah, it's 15 for 1. Whew. That's a bit expensive. So yeah, we're gonna need to find some work. Not sure what to do with these ones. Like, is it better to just like not do anything, or do we go and risk it? Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard choice. Like, I really don't want to risk it. I shouldn't be having to do that. It's just that, like, getting 3 rounds from 5 dice is really unlikely. Okay, let's risk it once, see what happens. I'm gonna put it here. Let's try to talk to people. Hey guys, Stubbles. I mean, if we're gonna... I guess we can always do this one. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, we got a neutral result, and below that it was like Hexport Expert. I don't know what that's all about. But okay, let's do it until something bad happens so we can see that as well. New location discovered. Okay. The Bend, Chaotic Dockside Bar. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's the map, okay. Maybe I just got super lucky, but there was like this yellow thing. Like, it seems like our result was boosted because we are familiar with this place, maybe? I don't know. There was something there that, like, I don't understand. Or maybe we just got lucky. I don't know. Let's say we got lucky. Play Star and Stoker into it. SNS is a spacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dice. Cheats are stashed in a symbol marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck-based. So, if you're good at intuition, you can gamble and earn some cash. For this kind of like things, you can either win or lose money. I don't think it's a good idea, especially since we're not good at intuition. You can also buy a Ben's Fry, a plastic bag of flash-fried salt-flecked tubers. The Ben's Fry brings spacers back to the scattered tables of the bar cycle after cycle. So here we can buy some food, basically. Okay, we're gonna go back here and we're gonna do another risky action. Oh no, we lost some energy. Okay, you have used all your dice for this cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to rest and reroll them. So energy is this white thing. So, yeah. So we still got the progress. Yeah, it seems like it says risky here, but like feels like a pretty safe action actually if a negative result is losing just some energy. So yeah, usually like if something was risky, you would like get damaged or stressed out. Well, there was no stress in the first game, but yeah. Anyhow, these dice, they are basically your stamina for the day, like how much work you can do. You can get up to 5. And yeah, I'm gonna end the cycle here. And I guess when we end the cycle, we're gonna like get all our dice back. Now, I don't know like if you're gonna get back all 5. In the first game, you would get like back dice depending on your how well functioning you are. But if you're free of stabilizer, then we should always stay well functioning, right? Well, let's see. End the cycle. We're probably gonna get a report what our friend did. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphim leans into the birds as you're getting out of your bunk. What did you do? Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes and glide down the length of the ship, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphim is a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphim inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in zero-G engine in your room. You know what these are? They're trackers, probably. But we already knew that they're coming after us, so... No, tell me. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air. Oh, they're not. And before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We're lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise, he shakes his head, it would have been bad. But he pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it? Seraphim sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphim whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our round of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. We will need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate, so how about you try to track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Okay, I'll take a look. Seraphim keeps working. Wait, Seraphim pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt, he frowns. A message went out to everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly, Seraphim sighs, which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution? I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Now, get out of here. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphim's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines, that's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. Right, well, don't worry, I'm an engineer. New drive available, tutorial. You have discovered a drive. Drives help you track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. So they're basically quests, they're called drives in this game. Press the arrow button on the top left to open the drive menu and choose which drive to track. Once the drive is tracked, a yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to that drive. Drive comes in two types, major and minor. On completion of a major drive, rewards 2 upgrade points and minor rewards 1. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available and track those you want to pursue. Alright, so we got a new drive, escape, Hexport, major, Lane is hunting you and Hexport isn't far from Darkside. Refuel, repair, find what you need and then leave before he finds you. Right, so that's like the main mission. We got a new location here, a factory row. Search the row. The factory owners of the row speak mostly in terms of supply and demand, but going door to door might help you find the ship fitter you need. Haul materials. Factory row is filled with workers hauling material through its zero-G corridors. Helping might win you some fans among the factories, so we need some information here. Trusted supplier. The Hexport factories are picky about who they work with. Trust is a key currency here if you want to find a ship fitter. So a ship fitter would be probably somebody who's gonna help us fix the ship, yeah? So yeah, we need to like either talk to people, search, help them out in order to like, yeah, get some information here. So that's that. Okay, trade hall. Yeah, here we buy and sell stuff. And yeah, I think we... Okay, so we have 3 locations to work on right now. Work on exchange to get the final pip here. We got to do the docks to get 3 more pips here, or we can go on a main mission here in the factory row. Now the dice for today are much better. We got like a 6, 2 5s, 4 and a 2. This is way above average, so I'm very happy about that. However, I'm gonna make a cut in the video now. So yeah, I think this is enough to showcase what this game is all about. So basically every day you get these dice, you put them in different locations, you choose where to go, you choose what to prioritize, you choose what you need, you choose which actions to do. Like, it's a pretty chill, comfy, tactical strategy game. The first one started quite a bit rough, where it was really tough and... yeah, but then the second part of it was really easy because I was super rich, I had everything I needed, I was like fully leveled up, and yeah, it was just like a story novel at that point. So yeah, we'll see how this one goes. We are playing on medium difficulty, so that probably makes it a lot easier, right? Not sure on which difficulty I'm gonna play the full game when it comes out. But yeah, hopefully enjoy this showcase. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you all to have a wonderful day, do something nice, be kind to each other, and let's make the world a better place together. Thank you for watching, and I might see you in another episode of this. I'll see. Or some other demo of some other game. I'm trying to cover as many as I can during this Steamfax Next festival here. The Neomer signing out. Citizen Sleeper 2, the Starboard Vector. Signing out. Bye bye.